Hello, everyone, and welcome to April of 2025 predictions and energy update. For those of you who are new to my channel, my name is Jill M. Jackson. I am a psychic medium, a psychic channel, a published author, and a spiritual teacher. If you have not hit subscribe below, please do so. And I am considering starting a Substack account, going back and forth on getting clarity if I'm going to move everything over from YouTube to Substack. So I will make that announcement if I do decide to move everything over there. So let's get right into the month. As I have done for some time now, the first part is going to be my psychic predictions. And then the last part of the update will be more about the spiritual energy and what I see in the month of April on a higher consciousness level. Okay, I do try to bring both to you each month. Before I start with the predictions, let me just issue this reminder that it is so important to learn to use our discernment and to check in with your own intuition. So some of the predictions that I may be discussing, of course, are not going to affect everyone. So learn to take some deep breaths and use your discernment to see if it is applicable to you or not. I will also have a link below to my Intro to Intuition class. Everybody must learn to tap into your own intuitive guidance during these times of evolution that we find ourselves in. Okay, so I'm going to start by talking about, sadly, last month I had predicted an earthquake of over a 7.0 in magnitude for March, and that did come to pass. And I believe actually there were two separate events. So I just want to take some time to send prayers and healing to those who are still recovering from this deadly earthquake. Also for April, I do feel more very large earthquakes coming. At some point this year, I'm even seeing an 8.0. I have not received full clarity on what month that is. I am seeing some more for April that are high sixes and sevens. And the way Spirit is showing it to me is kind of three flashes, kind of in a triangle, is what they're showing me right now. But one area that we need to send some energy to that I was picking up on a potential is Malaysia and Indonesia. And also I'm hearing Japan right now. So please join me in sending some energy that way. Earthwise, I also am feeling like there's going to be 3 volcanoes that are either erupting or rumbling. I'm hearing the number 3, and so there's a lot of earth changes going on. For those people who are trying to tell us the false narrative that climate change is not real, please understand it is. We are witnessing it right now. Climate change is real, and sadly, the current regime is not interested in either acknowledging it or doing, putting the measures in to reduce the effects of it. So we are going to be seeing more and more and more expressions of climate change. I am feeling a lot of water events. In April, I'm feeling one tsunami or a tsunami type scare in April or May. If you do live on a coastal area, again, tune into your own intuition. Our spirit guides will warn us if it's necessary for us to start thinking about relocating, because I do see a gradual increase in the water levels around the world, coastally over the next few years. So tune in and get your own intuitive guidance as far as that goes as well. But I see a lot of flooding. The areas to pay attention to for the flooding are the US, Asia, and also some places in Europe. It feels more like Central Europe for these water flooding type events. Okay, so I want to switch directions now and talk about I never know what to call him. I don't want to give him any energy, but let's just call him DJT. Um, or 45. So that's what we'll do. Because he did not successfully win the contest, and I'm going to be talking in as much code as I can. The truth of that will 100% be coming out. And the way my guides are showing it to me, it's gonna be like a trickle effect. It's not gonna be like this one major announcement. I mean, the one major announcement does come at some point, but it's leading up to that where more and more um, media and officials are gonna start speaking out about it. There's gonna be more proof coming out. So regarding 45, I do feel like April is a month of a lot of volatility for him. I'm feeling a potential for a health scare or event regarding the um, heart or the circulation. And I'm also feeling that there are some, I want to watch my words, uh, people that he thinks he can trust, that he cannot trust around him, that are considering another attempt on him as well. So I see danger in that regard as well. I feel like there's going to be some explosive news coming out around him in the month of April. Now, Muskrat, there's a lot going on with him. One thing that Spirit woke me up, I believe last week in the middle of the night, and said to me the following, and I've been debating on whether to even go public with this, but my guides encouraged me to do so, so I'm going to. And what I was told is the infernos, the fires around we'll call it what 45 called it, Tesla, around Tesla, are an inside job. It's going to be used against the left, but I wasn't even thinking about it, and I was woken up and told that this is what is going on, that there's multiple reasons for this, deflection, misdirection, but it is not, the people responsible are not the groups that they're going to end up saying are responsible for this. I do see Muskrat having more and more and more issues, mentally being unstable, um, kind of the guides are showing me right now going further and further and further kind of into the shadows. And again, it's more gradual where they're showing me he little by little starts stepping away from more of the public eye, so to speak. However, this is the important part. He's not going away behind the scenes. His agenda, if you will, is still very much in the forefront. He is connected to a lot of the higher level players, if you will, with the P to 0 to 5, and PUTIN, all of it is all connected in a very deep, nefarious way. So it's going to seem like he's slithering away, if you will, but just know that that's not going to be the case. He is still wanting to bring forth, I believe it's called Neuralink, or his agenda is the CHIPs in people, and merging transhumanism, and it's a very, very dark agenda of control. So I feel like my guides were encouraging me to talk about this, to remind everyone of our divinity and our sovereignty, and use your own guidance and intuition. But for me, as a sovereign being, I will not ever allow a CHIP to be injected. And but I feel like that is still, they're just showing me it's in the shadows, it's in the works. And again, this is not to cause fear. It's important that we don't give all this fear, that we learn to use our own discernment for ourselves and to stay centered. Anything else? Let me see. I made notes when I was in downloading all of this. Okay, now's a good time to start talking about what the guys were showing me with AI. We are at a precipice and a crossroads right now with AI. And the way my guides have explained it to me is that it's not all bad and it's not all good. It's what it's meant to be is more of a place for neutrality, however, and for the betterment of humanity. But my guides have said that the consciousness level of those who are developing and in charge of much of this is not at a vibrational level where it can be utilized in a more of a benevolent way, a more helpful way for humanity, because there is a lot of good that can come from it. Those beings in the higher dimensions, other planetary beings, have shown me that AI is used in a lot of higher dimensional um, beings, if you will, and civilizations. However, their consciousness level is much higher than our collective consciousness level as humanity at this time. So that's why it's really, really important that we remember to keep our light shining really, really, really bright, so that we can send that ripple out and continue helping more and more people awaken. The time for, I guess, preaching and trying to talk others into our way of thinking is past. That is no more to be. We are now to just express ourselves in a highest vibrational frequency in any given day that we can. So again, with AI, use your own discernment. It's really, really important. And please join me in holding energy and space, that those who are rooted in a higher consciousness will be successful in developing the more successful expressions of the AI as we continue moving forward. Okay. Some of you are considering moving or even leaving the country. I would say, if at all possible, try to be settled by June. I feel like that there's a lot more instability coming in the month of June with restrictions and so forth. So if you are looking to make a move or to leave the country, listen to your intuition and don't hesitate on that. Each of our guides will help us tune into whether that is for our individual highest and best good or not. Okay. All right. Stock market. I see huge dips in April. I see a lot of volatility. Like there's one day in April where I feel like it's gonna drop, like the spirit's showing me like a roller coaster kind of drop where it's just many points are lost in that day. I feel like food prices are continuing to rise. If you are able to start making cuts and, I guess smarter decisions regarding finances, now would be a time to do that, because I feel like there's a lot more layoffs coming in April and May, even though the courts have been successful, thankfully, in bringing some of the federal workers back. I'm still seeing a lot of instability around employment in April. I see more and more, even private companies downsizing from fears of the disastrous economy. And mark my words that that this has been orchestrated. So that's all I'm going to say about that. It's been orchestrated, and 45 is the puppet, and and but still has the same energy signatures as the one that did the salutes from Germany. So that energy is there, but I see his cognitive ability declining further and further and further. And so those who are holding on to the puppet strings, if you will, are watching this. And again, I don't feel like he's in a safe space at the moment. Banks, I'm still feeling instability with banks. I feel that there's going to be a few run on the banks. I would recommend looking into smaller banks and credit unions, check the ratings. I just feel a lot of instability around banking. Okay, so for those of you who are looking to go to the 4, 5, the 5th, I hope this doesn't get me flagged, the protests that are coming up on the 5th. I encourage you to go within. We don't want to go into fear. I would recommend that you leave your devices at home. There's more you can look up about that. And then the other thing that my guides were showing me is okay, now they're showing me if you're able to take a camera, and some people will have their phones, there's going to be, I guess, moles creating and inciting violence in some of the areas, not in all of the areas, but in some of the areas, and to try to turn this peaceful protest more nefarious and more violent. So just be aware of your surroundings, put protective bubbles around you, put protective light around you. It's really important that we do stand up and speak out at this time. And, my hat goes off to Senator Cory Booker, a true patriot, and this type of energy is going to continue in April, and I'm going to talk about that and more of the energy around the month when I get to that section of it. What else okay, I see some more issues still with airlines. So again, use your intuition. I'm seeing issues around it, boats and cruise ships as well. Use your own intuition. And what the words my guides are giving me right now are choppy waters. But I feel like one event with a boat or a vessel or a ship is going to be done on purpose, like some kind of terrorism or something like that. But I just feel a lot of instability around water and vessels like that. Let me just see if there is anything else. Okay, so I'm just gonna draw three tarot cards now to kind of round out the predictive energy before I kind of get to the higher consciousness energy for April. Hey, Spirit, show us any other information that we need to be aware of for the month of April. All right, so the first card that did come out is the King of Cups, and I am feeling like intuitively I'm feeling again tied to a water event, and there's also a male that's going to have some issues. Feel like this person is not not a water sign, like an empathetic, sensitive person, but more of an emotionally unstable person. It's gonna have some, I'm being shown like Hegs with or somebody like that there's gonna be another scandal coming out with a male, and his energy is very, very erratic anyway, and it's gonna continue being more and more erratic. The Five of Cups comes out. I do feel like that there's more events coming with souls choosing to make their transition. And remember that some of these souls will be choosing this on a soul level. There's, I could do a whole nother series on how all of that works, but I do feel a large number of people making their transition. There's also strong energy coming in. It started a little before the equinox last month, and the energy for those who have not infused themselves with a frequency of light are going to experience this. It's like a cosmic energy, solar flare kind of energy. They're going to experience it in health challenges. The physical body for some is just not going to be able to handle the influx of energy. And I also see a lot of people passing quickly, with heart type events in April. I get the moon card comes up as well. A lot of things going on behind the scenes that are not of the light. I feel like they're going to be exposed in April. There's more and more and more. I mean, we're just seeing it all the time. The corruption being exposed, the scandals coming out, the inept of this, regime. There's going to be more of that in April. Like, I feel like more fraud. Okay, now they're showing me 45 again. All right, there's something like, and I'm laughing when I'm getting this word earth shattering that's coming out about him, because honestly, it's like you want to say, how could that even possibly be? But it's what I'm hearing. So uh, buckle up because there's more revelations coming around, even more fraud, even more. Like, again, don't even know how that's possible. And then finally, there's four that jumped out. So the Four of Cups, and the way I'm reading this for anyone that was brought to this video is to really, really tune into the month of April with your own creative ideas and expressions, and spend the month learning to tap into your intuition, learning to tap into what your soul's purpose is, because there's an energy of the month that helps anchor that in. So, what this card means is make sure that you're not, sitting in like a meditative state and you miss, an opportunity that comes in for you. So this card is more for us individually. Pay attention to signs coming in April. Pay attention to opportunities kind of coming out of the blue sky. And I feel like that for a lot of people, there's new opportunities that are going to be presented that are really, really positive, but it may take you out of your comfort zone. Okay, so that concludes the prediction part of this video, and the last part is more of a higher consciousness energy, if you will, kind of the energy signature for the month. And Spirit gave me 3 words to talk about that kind of sums up the energy of April. And the first one is volatility. And again, they're just showing me the roller coaster. They're showing me like a bipolar kind of energy. Like we're gonna feel like we have whiplash during the month of April. Like if we feel that things have been intense since, November-ish, just honestly buckle up. And I'm not, the guides aren't saying this to bring fear. It's just if we can have an awareness and remember to stay grounded with Mother Earth, so that when this volatility shows itself, we don't get knocked off center. It's so important that we stay anchored, grounded, centered, balanced, so that we can kind of ride these tsunami type waves and events that are going to be coming in April and even beyond, that we can handle them in a place of higher consciousness rather than a place of fear. Okay. And then the other word, I was really, really excited to receive this word, exuberant. And that energy goes along the lines of what we have witnessed with Bernie Sanders and AOC and Jasmine Crockett and Cory Booker, uh, you know, really demonstrating an exuberant spirit of patriotism and unity and higher vibrational energy. And so there is more of that, thankfully, coming in April. And let's remind each other to really, really focus on that in April. And let's, send our gratitude and thanks to these brave senators and Congress people who are speaking out. They're not sitting there like a deer in headlights and doing nothing, because it's part of the energy to move humanity, not only for the United States, but for the world forward. It's about courage, and it's about finding our truth, our authentic truth, and not allowing ourselves to be silenced. Okay, so I do see a lot of excitement and exuberating energy coming in the month of April, a lot to be celebrated. Okay, and then the final word that I was given was transformative. And again, I feel like, one thing my guides are saying right now is that part of why we find ourselves grieving certain days is because we are grieving a world that we will never return to. I mean, literally, and sometimes that's a little challenging to grasp the magnitude of that. So during April, it's going to be even more of a transformative month because during all of the changes and the revolution and the evolution, we have an opportunity individually and collectively to raise our vibrational frequency, to ride the waves of the energy of transformation, and to really check in with ourselves and ask, are we bringing our highest expression to humanity, to ourselves first, and then to humanity? And it's important to be honest with ourselves, and each one of us has a different role to play in this transformation of where we are as a species. And again, that's why it's important to learn how to tap into your own intuition, to learn what your own soul's blueprint is, so that you know what your role is moving forward, and you can feel really, really empowered with the expression of your part to play. But it's a very transformative month in many, many different ways. The last thing that I want to mention is in the last channeling from Solomon, who is a ninth dimensional Palladian group consciousness that I do channel, and this channeling was live through the High Vibe Tribe. Um, and anyone who joins the High Vibe Tribe will be able to go back and watch all of these events. They stay there forever. Anyway, during this channeling, what Solomon was explaining is many people are talking about the veils thinning, but what's really happening is the energy between the dimensions is collapsing. It's collapsing more and more and more. So that's why many of us feel like time is speeding up, because in the higher dimensions, they do not have the same time as we do in the third dimension. So when we bring more light into our bodies, when we infuse more of the light codes into our auric fields, then that collapse is happening between the dimensions, which in turn makes it seem like everything is speeding up, when really we're just tapped into the energy of fifth and sixth dimension, where time is not the same. And it's why many of you are experiencing what some people are calling jumping timelines, or more mystical new age type experiences, because that is the norm in the higher realms. So we will have more and more of that coming in April as well. Again, I love and honor and appreciate each one of your comments. Um, you know, for the trolls that for some reason want to spend your energy talking about how wonderful 45 is, please just don't even waste your energy. I know people that know him. I've been reading auras and energy for over 20 years. I teach people how to do it. I know how to read energy. I know how to read auras. I know how to look into a pure heart space. And, we're living in two different timelines right now, two different realities. So those of you who have come across this video about the energy of April, if you don't resonate with it, please, I'm inviting you to find literally another channel, because rather than taking your time to tell me that I'm wrong, just step into the timeline that you're on, and you, through that resonant frequency, will find those people who see reality in the same way you do, because we are literally living in what some are calling the upside down world, where those of us who are anchored in a different reality are not, those who are not, who have chosen with their own free will to anchor into a reality and an energy of war and division and anger and separation and talking about invading sovereign nations. Like if you resonate with that energy, again, no judgment here. You're just on a different timeline. You are literally viewing the world from a different timeline. And so I love the comments of everyone else. Please share your experiences with me. In closing, the main thing is stay hydrated, keep your vibrational frequency elevated. Do not stay anchored in anger and fear for long periods of time, because this is the food source for the evil on our planet right now. It's important to honor our anger, to honor our frustration, to honor our sorrow over the suffering that we are witnessing. But if we can learn to hold our vibrational frequency high at longer and longer periods, this is going to help everyone shift their energy. I'm sending you so many blessings and so much love. And thank you again for being part of my channel, for being part of my community, and keep that vibe high. Until next time, namaste.